In today's world, education is increasingly depending on technology to support meaningful learning experiences and meet the needs of modern students. Digital transformation is no longer just a trend but a crucial factor in trending accessible and effective education. With schools and universities facing challenges like limited resources, device student needs, and evolving teachers' methods, there is a growing need for solutions that integrate technology in impactful ways. The Ministry has given our team an IT project with a 6-month timetable and RM150,000 budget by developing a technology-based solution that can actually make a difference. This initiative seeks to address one of the most important problems facing education. We intend to improve teaching and learning processes by utilizing digital tools called EduConnect, which will facilitate communication between teacher and student as well as provide students with high-quality resources. This initiative aims to create something that truly supports the Ministry's mission of using education to promote social change, not only to produce new technology. We are excited to take advantage of the chance and dedicate to the completing a project that helps teachers improve student learning and further the Ministry's educational goal. Next, for part 1, this is initial project timeline. We started our project by 1st November 2024 and finished it by 6th January 2025. This is the revised project timeline, which is we start our project on 1st November 2024 and end it on 30 December 2024 after we 10% cut off from the original project timeline. So for initial project timeline, it took us 66 days including weekends, and for revised project timeline, it took us 60 days including weekends.
For revised project budget, there will be a 20% cut for all the tasks in the project. For project kickoff meeting, the original cost is 400 and the revised cost is 320. For requirement document, the original cost is 1,800 and the revised cost is 100 and 440. For team onboarding completion, the original cost is 2,400 and the revised cost is 1,920. For tool setup confirmation, the original cost will be 1,000 and the revised cost is 800. And the design and prototyping mockup, the original cost is 7,000 and the revised cost is 500 and 600. And for the project plan document, the original cost will be 4,000 and the revised cost is 3,200. And risk management plan, the original cost will be 2,800 and the revised cost will be 2,240. The fully development platform, the original cost will be 20,000 and the revised cost will be 16,000. And the last one for this slide, um, the training material, the original cost will be 12,000 and the revised cost will be 900 and 600. For the second part of this revised project budget, the initial testing result, the original cost is 4,000 and the revised cost will be 3,200. The final testing and refinement, the original cost will be 4,000 and the revised cost will be 3,200. Project tracking report, the original cost will be 38,400 and the revised cost will be 30,720. For budget monitoring, the original cost will be 30,600 and the revised cost will be 20,880. Final testing computation, the original cost will be 9,000 and the revised cost will be 7,200. And project launch confirmation, original cost will be 10,000 and revised cost will be 8,000. Final documentation, the original cost will be 2,600 and the revised cost will be 8,080. And for the last one, the stakeholder review documentation, the original cost will be 8,800 and the revised cost is also 800 with reduction of 0%. So the total amount of all the original cost will be 155,800 and the revised cost will be 123,200 with the total amount of 20% of reduction.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Zunain bin Iswandi, and I will explain to you the risk identification framework. There are 5 project phases, and the first one is initiation phase. And from this phase, the risk that has been identified is incomplete requirements gathering leading to scope creep. And this will be owned by the project manager. So the strategy is to conduct a thorough stakeholder meetings and use a requirements checklist to validate scope. Next is planning phase. So in this phase, the risk that has been identified is the delays in project plan approval due to stakeholder feedback. This risk is owned by the project manager too. So the strategy that will be used is to set clear deadlines for feedbacks and use an iterative review process to finalize plans. So we will proceed to the next phase, which is the execution phase. And the risk that has been identified in this phase is the key team member turnover impacting development. This risk will be owned by the lead developer. And how to manage this risk is to have a cross-trained team members and maintain a knowledge transfer document. So after complete execution phase, we'll be in a monitoring phase. And in this phase, there will be a risk. And the risk that has been identified is inadequate tracking of project progress leading to overruns. This risk will be owned by the project manager. And the strategy to overcome this risk is to implement regular status meetings and use project management software for a real-time tracking. Lastly, this will be the final phase, which is the closure phase. In this phase, there will be a risk too, and the risk that has been identified in this phase is a missing project documentation leading to poor handover. This risk will be owned by the project manager. So, a strategy to overcome this risk is to establish a documentation checklist and assign responsibility for completion to relevant team members. In conclusion, every phase has a risk and we have to be prepared to overcome this risk.
Next, for conversion strategy, we choose phase conversion strategy, which is the advantage is flexibility, risk mitigation, and user training and adaptation. And the implementation step is preparation, pilot testing, feedback collection, and interactive rollout. Next, the reason we not choose direct cut-off is high risk, limited testing opportunity, problem with user adaptation, and for parallel is resource intensive, complexity, user confusion.
Hi, my name is Melvin Anamika Colin and I will explaining about the checklist for project closure. Before ended the project, our team have listed several checklist activity that should be conducted. Firstly, final deliverable verification. This activity is to ensure that all project deliver such as platform, training material, and documentation are completed and meet quality standards. Secondly, stakeholder review and approval. To conduct a final review with stakeholder to obtain sign-off on all project outputs. Thirdly, financial closure. To verify that all invoices have been paid, budget reconciled, and final cost report prepared. Next, final testing and refinement report to ensure final testing is completed, issue resolved, and the platform is fully functional. Apart from that, we also conducting knowledge transfer and training activities to deliver training session for teacher and student and hand over documentation for future reference. Besides that, conducting documentation handover to complete and share technical and user documentation with stakeholder and team members. Moreover, lesson learned review also conducted to evaluate what went well and what could be improved. Moving on to decommissioning project resources. This activity release project resources, deactivate temporary account, and clean up unused material. Next, platform launch confirmation, which include verify that the platform is live, accessible, and operational as per plan. Last but not least, final report submission, which include report that summarizing project performance, outcome, and key metric achieved. That's all for the checklist activity. Next, I will explain on how our team evaluate the project MOV. In our project, there are 4 areas of MOV. Firstly, customer impact. To make sure we achieve the targets of 40% increase in active platform usage among students and teachers, we will analyze user engagement metrics such as login frequency, time spent, and participation rates. Secondly, operational efficiency, which target to achieve 35% improvement in teaching efficiency. We will evaluate the operational efficiency by conducting survey and interview with teachers to gather qualitative feedback and compare lesson preparation time. Thirdly, to evaluate social outcome, which is 40% in student performance, our team will analyze student performance data based on percentage improvement in their exam score. Lastly, financial management. To evaluate whether financial management targets of completion within the RM 150,000 budget is achieved, our team will review and compare project cost report and budget utilization record. That's all for explanation or evaluation of the project MOV.